Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
All right, we're live.
All right. With that being said, guys, welcome. It's Algo Factory Tech. It is the gorilla. It is the cowboy, and we're giving it to you raw and live. Lots of things going on. And guys, if you haven't done so already, join us over at Algo Factory Tech. Learn to trade, upgrade your life, learn how to make those algos work for you, and bring you to the higher levels of understanding the markets.
That's right. Learn to trade like a hedge fund pro, right?
Yes, that's right. Learn to trade like a hedge fund pro. That should be that is our new slogan, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Learn to trade like a hedge fund pro. There you go. With that being said, Cowboy, what's going on, buddy?
I just got to recapture the screen here. Looks like this screen. I don't know what happened with my machine here, but I've had to kind of restart the screen. So there it is. It's working. NASDAQ all-time highs. So whatever, this is what happened. CPI came out yesterday, and it was kind of a nothing burger, but because it was not a hot print, the whole market's like, we're going to see interest rate cuts in September, and everybody says we're going to see interest rate cuts in September. And the last few predictions that have been kind of widely made, you know what I mean? Like the last few predictions that are like, hey, this is what we think is going to happen, have pretty much been on point. So there haven't been as many surprises. So when everybody says, hey, we're going to have interest rate cuts, then everybody believes it and the market goes sky high. So this is what we're seeing right now. And that is what that is. So NASDAQ, all new highs just at right after CPI. If you look at the chart here, this is the price action in the last couple of days. And yeah, I accounted for this possibility in the weekly update. Okay. So the weekly update is, definitely I'll do it saying what the algos look like they want to do, but I'm always like, hey, CPI comes out and I put a big line on there. In fact, you'll see it if I move over to that chart. The NASDAQ, the algos wanted to reject, head, and then go back up, but you'll see that I did account for this white line. You'll see it actually says CPI right there, and it has an arrow pointing up just in case it heads up, and that possibility was accounted for. So in a big way, and all markets are starting to move again, right? So this is definitely a sign that the money, if you will, thinks that we're going to see interest rate cuts. That's what this means. So markets are moving for now. And you have inside days, you have outside days. So whenever you're trading, right, you're going to have days of massive movement, and then you have a few days of not a lot, and then more massive movement, right? So there's always kind of the ebbs and flows of the market. And we just saw some flow about a week or two ago, and then we had like a week of ebb, and now we're having flow again, which typically in August, you don't really get a lot of flow. You get a lot of ranging, quiet price action. But this is 2025. This is a Trump, scenario, right? There's a lot going on in the world, and markets are going crazy, and money's flowing everywhere. So it is what it is. We'll take a look at. We just looked at NASDAQ. All I can tell you is that it's bullish. So that's what there is to know. I mean, if I were to try to determine what it might do next, probably would at this point do a fib inversion for your most recent. I have some high time frame predictions out there already, so we'll take a look at what those were. But for the moment, we're looking at about 24,140, and we're looking at about, say, 24.5. Those are like the kind of upcoming targets based on a fib inversion, based on kind of short term, right? What might happen short term. Now, if you want to look a little long term on the NASDAQ, which that's where all the action is right now. Yes, all the other indices are moving, and there's plenty to do with those. But if you want to take a look at the higher time frame, right, then I would probably do kind of the same thing on that. And you'd be looking at, we're just hit the first target on that. So the next target is up almost to 26,000. I think 25,000 is going to be a nice round number for the markets to choke on. So we might see price kind of do something there or not. I mean, it's really, we're at a point where the markets are kind of wild. And if we do see a rate cut in September, whether it's 25 or 50 basis, the market's probably going to do pretty well. It might be that we have it priced in. So what I mean by that is if the whole world thinks the market is going to head up, then the whole world is going to push the market up, and the interest rate cut might not have the effect that everybody thinks. But it might not. The market's just wild right now. So anytime you have major news like CPI or anything like that, you just have to understand that whatever predictions you make might just be rendered irrelevant, right? And until we see some kind of a pullback on this move up that we've seen for the past, let's see, going back to last Friday, actually 2 Fridays ago, until we see that, a pullback from this, then there's really not a lot to talk about. It's just bullish. It's going to probably continue up, and that's that. Of course, the screen froze. I just did like this whole thing. You know, I just did this for like 30 minutes and no screen freeze. And the minute I go live, screen freeze. So let's re-go over this because fuck OBS right now. So this is the look on gold. Okay. Yeah, someone let me know. Mikey let me know. Thanks, but a little late. So gold, these are the levels. I don't think it'll go below 3240. It might go down to 3100. It might go down to 2800. Relook at, we already saw NASDAQ. So we already know what's going on there. We're going to relook at radium because that looks like a solid chart right now. But radium has to break above, really above 3880, but most of the resistance is kind of right where it is. So if radium can break above this, and if you know, the Bitcoin dominance can remain weak, you know, if Bitcoin doesn't break up, then of course we might see radium and injective protocols do pretty well in the short term. And here's a Bitcoin chart. I'm just going to go over these again because people want to see it. And apologies for not catching the screen freeze. There it is again. I think it froze. Let's check. Yeah, let's check. Give me a second. Yeah, there it is. I'm glad I caught it this time. You know, I reloaded this whole program and everything. It was working fine. It's not like I'm ignoring this, folks. I think it's my Apple. My Apple just doesn't like OBS. So screw whatever company is doing this. But yeah, look, this is what I expected with Bitcoin: a pullback and a move up, or no pullback and move up. And we had a slight pullback and a slight move up, and we're having trouble getting past 120,700. So we'll see what happens with that. And in the meantime, we might see a pullback to 117, but I don't think so. I think right now, based on the algos, Bitcoin is probably going to range until it heads up, just like I drew. Pretty much range till it heads up. We might even see this kind of everybody like wanting to buy the lows, and every time it comes down, people pay attention to these magic trend lines that don't really mean anything, but they're going to pay attention to them, so therefore they mean something. And every time price comes down to that trend line, they might buy it up. Now, there's no logical reason to trade those, except that people look at them and believe in them because they don't mean anything from a numerical standpoint. But that might be something one can do. So, you know, pay attention to that. Other than that, that's all I've got via the Gorilla for the public. So maybe we can head over to the private.
Yeah. Guys, follow us over to the private lab. Learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. Give us a shot. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be very impressed with the only place where you're going to learn not only how to trade, but the entire big picture of where we are and where we're headed.
Yeah, you gotta like elaborate a little bit on that, like, because we haven't had you as often on this live show, so people don't know what you're offering in there. They don't know what like your sort of they don't know the inside baseball that you're able to give in there. So maybe just, you know, let them know. Don't say anything, don't give away anything for free, but kind of tell them what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. What I provide to the table is a broader economic picture, the kind of details and intel that you're not going to get anywhere else. My predictions have been accurate, very, very deadly accurate for years on end at this point, calling things months and even years before it even happens to the detail. So if you want to know not only where the market is going, but the broader geostrategic, geopolitical stances that are affecting local markets globally, then you know what? You need to be a part of Algo Factory, and that's what we bring, and that's what I provide to this team.
I got to vouch for that because look, we've been working together in some way, shape, or form since 2017.
Yeah.
And with this kind of work since 2018. And I remember there's a few key times that I remember where your long-term and short-term, don't get it twisted. V knows very much about, especially when it comes to gold and Bitcoin and some of the major indices and stocks. V can call it short-term as well as anybody. But some of the long-term stuff has been insane. I know the COVID crash. We were talking during that COVID crash, and you called the bottom on that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't even halfway to the bottom, and you called the bottom on that.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I was talking to you, like, oh yeah, I talked to my neighbor, and I was telling my neighbor this, and like, it was like right, perfect call. So, you guys got to understand that the kind of knowledge and experience that V brings to the table is as important as any charting. And when it comes to the macros, a lot of my algos factor V's data into it. So we're over at algofactory.tech. Thanks for watching for now. And don't forget.
Join us or die.
That's just a joke, everybody. You're not going to die. We love you. Bye.